Hey, you Huck, all right, mate? Good man. I shall come and join you. Just a clear up thing when Six was talking about gunships being 2 or 3 miles away, that sort of thing. That's only in modern warfare. If you're doing slick gunship escort, basically you just form up like an inverted Y. So the stem of the Y is the slick flight. Then I would be maybe, or one would be 500-600 meters to the left and towards the end of that stick, and the other guy, if there was just 2 gunships, would be on the right hand side about 500 meters apart and about 100-200 meters above. The concept being that if they're going in and they're getting ground fire coming up from the right or left, the gunship that's on that side immediately just drops the nose and puts down suppression fire, calling the slick flight to break 90 left. All right, and they do a radical hard left turn. The slick on the left hand side goes with them as escort. Then the slick on the right, which is put down suppression fire, breaks and then catches up. Yeah, gunship. All right, so just think of it as a Y. So if there was 2 of us doing it and we had the slicks in front of us, one would be on the left, one would be on the right, say 500 meters, maybe 100, 150, 200 meters above, if there was no SAM threat or any of that nonsense. And if they were, this is presuming the slicks are going along low level or nap of the earth, so you're just slightly above them. So if they get ground fire coming up, say if ground fire comes from the right, the gunship on the right just drops the nose, puts suppression fire, calls for the slicks to break hard left. The gunship on the left goes with the slicks, and then the gunship, once he's put the suppression fire, he breaks left and catches up, and you continue on your path. So your primary goal is just to escort the slicks in. That's if there was just 2 of you. All right, it's mentioned in that operations PDF. If you dig through it, you'll see a little diagram of an inverted Y and one guy either side. But that's the concept of it. If there's more than 2, or if it was a more involved thing, in reality, if you were doing that operation that Six was doing and you wanted a bit more thought about it, you would send us through first to check that the LZ was clear, and then we'll probably do a split turn. So if I was planning that, we would both come in. And if the LZ overfly the LZ, I would take a left turn, you would take a right turn, hard brake, in other words, a real radical 180 back, and then turn. It's a mixture of it. Not shout. No, it's not shooting. How can I describe this without confusing you? I know what I do. I send you that link again. That Coast sketch link. There you go. There you go. There's a masterpiece bit of art there for you. That's one method. That's one method you can use. You've got the river, and then you've got that red line and a few boys. That's the enemy there. LZ is written as there. So what it's one tactic we could have done is to come in, because the LZ here, pick the LZ maybe a good K and a half back from where you think the enemy is. So we could overtake the slicks, do a low level run over the LZ, do a really hard turn, come back, and as we do another 180 turn, you are then just behind the slicks as they come in, ready to suppress if it goes hot. Does that make sense? Okay, let me try again. Maybe it's not there. That's the river scene. That's the road and the bridge where the enemy is. Six had picked his LZ here, which was about 1.5K, 2K from where we know the enemy was. Yes? Okay, so we would have overtook them as they approached that. Okay, and then we could have flown low over the LZ, and if the LZ was clear, we can just do a very hard break, and we would do a split turn. So if we came in like this, then you do a split turn the opposite way, and we go back. By the time we do another 180 to come in, we pass the slicks on the way in, and then we form up on our inverted Y coming in. So if it does go hot when they come in, we're ready to cover that LZ. And then we can either do another split turn like that and shorten the turn radius while they're on the ground, and then cover them on the way out, or go forward and suppress fire on the enemy over there. There's sort of options. It's just the concept I'm putting you there is a split turn, where the two of you come in this way like this. Now if we do a turn like that and then come back onto there, that's going to put you on a huge radius and a big disadvantage. So you end up doing if the situation arises, you can come in like that and then do a split turn and do a 180 back, and then you come back in. So that's one advantage of an S turn. And the other thing, if we're talking of slicks, there's the slicks going in, and then you've got a couple of gunships, so you can have one gunship about here and one gunship about here. So your lead would be here and the wing would be here. The wing would be slightly behind the lead, so he can still keep an eye on the lead. If he was up here, he wouldn't be able to see the lead. It'd be too difficult. So he keeps back so he can see the lead, and he can also see the slicks. If they suddenly get fire this way, this guy just fires that way, calls a break left, and you follow him, and he cuts short and joins in. Happy enough? Okay, just filled in those gaps. That's it.
User joined your channel. Over.
What's everybody doing? Cool.
Trying to reorder this book from the UK. I'm looking on eBay now.
What is it?
That's the one on the Falklands War.
What's it called?
Scram. I ordered it on Amazon. They never shipped it, so they canceled the order.
Who's the author?
Patrick Bishop. Find something other than eBay would be nice. It wasn't charging much. I can borrow it.
What was that dude's name? Patrick what?
If you get stuck, I could order it on Amazon. I could have it here tomorrow and pop it in the post to you.
Yeah,
if they have it. Yes, they no. Sorry, not Scram. They have. He's got a clapper of other ones. I haven't come across Scram.
Paperback's $2, hardcover $75, but on eBay you can get the hardcover for €7.
Very good.
Goodreads has it. I don't know what the hell I can do with Goodreads.
Yeah, stand by. I might be able to snag for you.
Okay. I'm gonna eat my dinner. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Well, the Pirate Bay have it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've got any 100%ers.
Yeah, I just grabbed it if anybody wants it.
Yeah, throw me a link, man.
It's so small. I'll just throw it up in the
File browser.
file browser.
I do.
Wait one. Okay, it's up there.
Okay, which one?
It's just in the Officers Club file browser.
Okay.
It starts with Harry Benson in the name. I guess I could have unrodded for you guys too. That would have been nice. Let me do that.
Harry Benson.
Yeah, I can. I'll put one up that's not RAR'd either. I don't know why they RAR'd it, but.
Yeah, well, that's perfect. Came down good.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I'm just reading it there, just flicking through it. Yeah, those are black and white photographs and stuff. Now, why the hell did he call it Harry Benson? I didn't, without reading it.
I don't know. I think they sorted by the author or whatever.
Alright. This is a dual thing. Maybe it's a non-deployed, maybe it's the writer's Patrick Bishop and...
Is it? Because
I
link,
don't know.
yeah, that link that he sent me said says it's by Harry Benson.
Right, it might be written by Harry Benson, or I don't know.
Oh,
I'll wait till I read it. Tell me in the preface, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Harry Benson wrote it. He interviewed 40 of his former colleagues.
So where's Patrick Bishop from?
I have no idea. I don't know where that Patrick Bishop name came from. I think 6 is dropped.
Yeah, I think it's picked now. Your boy.
Oh, Patrick Bishop did a quote. He did a review or something.
Right.
It's at the very bottom of the cover. There's a quote by him, like a review quote.
Ah, gotcha. Because your boy Bishop writes has written a couple of war books. I don't know whether they're fictional or
Right.
narrative. I don't know. Roger.
Rearming complete.
Roger. Where do you want to go? There's one just around the coast there. You fancy that? It's Roger. Visual. If I recall correctly, that one's on a slope, a village on a slope going north, so there's not much point hitting it from the south. I think we've got to go out over the sea and come in from the bay. Did you get those 2 knee balls I threw up today? Good man. Luckily it falls in with what Six was saying earlier on, so that's okay. No, we're still going. We'll just work it out. We're going as a simultaneous, so I'll come in, you pick wide or left, and I'll engage and you engage shortly afterwards. There's a 5-0 there if I remember rightly, I think, I'm not sure. I think it would be better. You could do a continuous tack, but you haven't. It's fairly hard to do a racetrack where one's always being covered by the other, and takes a fair bit of practice, and we need to do that on a proper range first before we attempt that. So we'll just do a series of simultaneously. We'll just come in and you go wide, whatever you think is appropriate. And when I engage, you should be able to engage a second or two afterwards and have a clear shot if you're wide enough. And we'll break at the K mark. And I think it'd be best left. I don't think that's enemies up there. Let me just check them up. No, it's not. So it's best heading breaking left, yeah. But the trick would be to come in fairly square. If I just come in at an angle to it, and you go to my right for a left break, you're not going to have a clear shot because of the topography, because of the hill. We'll be coming in from it'll be more north-northwest. And after we dump some rockets and puts down the second rocket run, sorry, the second gun run, you can switch to reflex. Wyman. Doing a lazy check, 180. Swing around, tipping up. In fact, I'll do a break right, being that you're on my left. Breaking right. Maintaining height. .180 right. Tipping straight in.
Hey, there's like 4 people here for training. You guys are already here.
Your book's in the file browser.
What? No fucking way. Awesome.
Breaking right.
Well, that means we don't have to do training.
Sorry, Six.
I like to
Yeah.
call your gibberish.
That's good, because I'm sure Gidgy sent me 12 PMs. Hey, you the PM me?
2, sir. 2 p.m. 2. Just 2.
Cool. Oh, I got some ideas for you. I'm gonna read
Good.
PMs. I gotta find that book. Where the hell is it?
It's, it starts with Harry Bent, starts with the author's name.
What can I read of it?
It's an EPUB, so if you have a Kindle, you'll have to convert it to Mobi, but it's easy enough to do. Download Caliber. It's free.
If you haven't got Caliber, man, there's something wrong with you.
Caliber. What about
C-A-L-I-B-R-E, I believe.
If you want, I can send you 20,000 books.
Yeah.
I have a lot of books. I wish I could share them easier. Because the Kindle ones are protected, aren't they?
Yeah, but Caliber can strip the protection if you know how.
Oh, you have to show me that. Those are some books.
Huck, in you go, man. Going close with the reflex and let's see what's about. I'll cover you. Roger. Visual. Saddle.
User joined your channel. Over.
Evening, everybody.
Is that fashion? Fabio?
Well, I'm going to go in real close to see. Visual, little buggers.
was Comanchero. That's who that was.
Yeah. Are we
I can't
up tonight?
We are.
Awesome.
And you go again, Huck, and go in low. I'll cover you. I come behind you on your left side. I think the heavy stuff's gone, so we'll have to go in close to get the individuals. Stay on reflex. Visual, saddle. And wide on your left. Okay, going close. Break it left. Good man. Visual, saddled. I think so. Up to 1,000 and then the usual shit. Remember? Saddle on your right. I don't. One day this week, Huck, I want you and I to come on and get simple radio going with radio effects. If you're listening DB, I don't know whether you have to turn them on the server or not. He's not listening. So I want to check out this mic clicks to see how audible they are.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Because I know in my old job we used to use them a lot when it was sneaky beaky stuff.
Yeah. We use them just to be brief.
Yeah. Did you know Comanchero would come on? He says, is it running? I said yes, so I don't know whether you're happy with that.
Oh, okay, yeah. We can do this. We can add some.
If you want to run through the whole thing, and what I was going to do is actually record it on TeamSpeak and then put it on for the likes of 7 other guys who couldn't make it for whatever reason.
Yeah. Might sound coherent for that.
Yeah, that's all right. You know, it's just you don't like the sound of your own voice, which I fully understand. I detest mine.
I use that website, Bomb. I use it to convert audio. I've never done ebook. Where the hell did Bomb go?
I don't know.
Wow. I could get somebody else to do the flying, but let me log in here.
Yeah, me and Huck could just do slicks. That'll make it easier for Comanchero. Maybe if you want, whatever suits you.
Okay. Do we have a really good flight lead that's smooth? I gotta get practice.
Yeah, well, I can do it. I wouldn't say I'm very good. I'm used to pissing about, zooming all over the place. Maybe Devon wants to do it. But I do it, sure, no bother.
Yeah, you can tag along on Tuesday.
Yeah, sure.
And then your thing, F19th. I'm trying to decide, if you read the little history, I don't know what they should go by.
Yeah, I just noticed the discrepancy in the patch on the TeamSpeak, that's all.
One was official, wasn't H, so I was gonna ask the guys in the meeting tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey Huck, 1,000 feet, boy. 1,000 feet. Yes. I thought you were trying to Skype out of it.
We might have to add a spade or a killer spade. That works for your Yankee. Bandit.
Yeah.
I hate Black Bandit. I know.
There's a killer spade there, is there not? Did I put one in?
Tiger we used pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might.
There are only things that it just keeps it short rather than having double barrels. You've got a choice of 4 for each company, so it should be fine. I don't know. It's just an idea, mate. You just, as I said in the line there, just dictator, you know.
Yeah, I was thinking if we added that to a. Oh, my inbox is full.
For some silly bells that keep sending you PMs.
At the bottom, I posted a link down there.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
Oh, I use that website for doing sound. I haven't done it to do books. But if that program Gizzy talks about lets us strip the books, there's a bunch I can send you that are good.
Yeah, Caliber's pretty cool, man.
It used to let you strip. The last time I used them for stripping would have been about a year and a half ago. So.
So I was thinking we do which we can fit on an e-board page.
Yeah, if you just fire me what you want and I'll set them down. Frequencies would be the one.
Yeah, I gotta look through the old SOP on that.
Yeah, the call signs can go into the company commanders can enforce that. So.
Well, the call sign is we can do a standard card for like a quick planning card. So
yes.
A paragraph on what we're looking for, description, RPs, SPs,
yep.
LZs, and then call signs, frequencies, maybe lighting signals.
Yeah, you can knock it all in about 3 or 4 nibbles, the whole lot, because I've got very similar for the D company, and I did have ones for exactly the same thing about egress points and RV points and break points and that sort of stuff that we normally do before each attack. So it all fit quite happily on.
Okay, so yeah, I might lay that. Yeah, I think the lighting's gonna be simple. We'll just use the same for day and night.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at that one I did for D, I mean that covers the lighting and radios and frequencies all on one, so you can pad that out, take away various bits and pieces, or the frequency and a little bit of radio etiquette you could put in, or the lights and something else you can all put into one card, you know?
Yeah, the original SOP had a decent description of the radio.
Yeah.
Let me log in here, line some stuff up. This time, you guys are gonna line up on the approach end. Whoever takes lead.
I don't know. So do I, but I've got no ASI. The ASI is shot out, so this will be fun. And down safely. That was good. Good man. Be back in 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back.
All right.
That was a terrible experience. I knocked over a very nice large glass of Irish whiskey over my keyboard.
Ooh.
But the keyboard had a waterproof membrane, so I wasn't worried about that. It was the loss of the whiskey was the problem. I think so. If you want,
yeah.
we can.
All right. Let's kick this thing off. All right. So some of you this is a repeat. Some of you this is new. All right. Start off with.
Hang on. Wait.
Okay.
You're gonna record this, aren't you guys?
Let me get a
Yeah.
beer. We're gonna be
Okay.
recording it. So we'll be...
Now, where's it tell you to record it? Start recording. There we go.
There's a way to turn off notifications too.
User in your channel started
Yeah.
recording.
There you go. All done.
I think there's a way to turn off notifications so you don't hear the people entering and leaving the channel.
Is there? There is, but I haven't.
I have no idea how to do it either. So.
All right. You ready? Who's Dimitri?
Don't know. Probably some. Is he up in the lobby?
Yeah.
He's a random then.
Wouldn't be Dimitri. That's a guy on the.
From India.
Yeah, no, he works for Body Chop, or he did the campaign for Body Chop on the forum. He uses the name Dimitri.
I'm not willing to risk it.
His name. It's an Indian guy.
Yeah, I don't think our Dimitri that we're for Polychop is Indian.
I don't think so.
Well, moving on. So I was saying, some of you guys have were here earlier, some weren't. So today we were just going to talk about communications and aircraft numbering, flight numbering, some route planning, briefings, and then just a basic lining up, taking off, landing, and taking off again. All right, so we talked about earlier was kind of setting up a base call signs for the different companies, just some fallback call signs, along with whatever the mission planner lays out for the mission. And that way, instead of calling it slick flight or gunship flight, you know, A company, bandit flight, if there's a couple of A company flights, there's a couple different call signs out there you can use, or like I said, whatever you choose to use if it's in the mission or whatnot. And we'll work on some aircraft numbering. So like 1-1 or 1-1 could work, or 2-1 if that's already built into the mission, or by default bandits 1-1 through whatever. The gunships 1-1, 1-2, and then I recommend doing maybe 2-1, 2-2. And if we can find a way to separate the numbers so we don't confuse each other, that's always good too. So what we're trying to do with that is just kind of alleviate some confusion. If we start doing larger missions, we've done them in the past with 12 to 20 aircraft. Instead of having one large flight of 12 or 20, we could have multiple serials of 6 aircraft, 5 aircraft. So we'll probably put those and post those out, and then start encouraging those kind of use. What we're trying to do is alleviate some of the communications. and a lot of the excess talking in the flights. We're trying to cut it down so that once we get shared cockpits and we start getting larger flights, we'll have less issues with guys talking over each other, guys trying to hear, and all that kind of stuff. Because once you get a shared cockpit going, the two pilots will be talking back and forth a lot, especially the guy in the front, the AMC, the guy that's doing backup nav, all that kind of stuff. There, one guy's looking at the map and talking to the pilot a lot. So if there's a lot of radio chatter, it can be confusing. So to mitigate that, we're going to talk about route planning, kind of marking the route a little better, giving a decent brief, and then just giving guys basic information about that route. Then we'll work on some lineup procedures, lighting, that prevents us from having to talk a lot while we're trying to line the flights up. And then finally, just working on smooth, constant takeoffs and landings for formations. So, start with, when you guys are ready, we'll go to the F10 map. Just let me know when you guys are in there.
All right.
That's weird. I'm pushing F10, but nothing's happening.
Are you in a troop menu or a radio menu?
It just came up just now.
Okay. So some basic stuff we have when we plan routes are RPs and SPs, kind of LZs and PZs, and then ACPs, which are air control points. So you usually mark your PZ where I'm going to pick up troops, HLZ or LZ where I'm going to drop troops. Start point's kind of where that leg's going to start. Your ACP is an air control point. You put those down anytime something really big changes. Some change of direction, altitudes, or airspeeds. And then you have your RPs, your release points. And those are pretty important. Those are lining you up with within 30 degrees of your final landing heading onto the LZ. So it kind of gets the flight from a close formation to a tight formation, gets them slowed down, and it gets them into landing mode. We used ACPs are great because even we'd set up what's called like communication sets. So at an ACP or an SP or an RP, I would put an Alpha or a Bravo or a Charlie, and what that was Alpha was a different communication set, and on a comm card you'd see Alpha, and it would give what frequency you should be on for every radio. And that way you don't even need to be on briefing what those are and briefing. You do a walkthrough of the mission and tell everybody, hey, at this point you'll be on these radios. Those are just hard points. Find a lot of things. Say, hey, I'm pushing this, and this gets rid of all that. Just kind of keeps everybody on the same radio set just by having locations. That's a little advanced for us, but that's some of the extra stuff you can do by ACPs. You could set up weapon statuses, all kinds of stuff that you can link to a physical point. The SP just kind of gets you up in the air. You take off in a tight formation, stay at 60 knots, you hit your SP, and that's your first start point. These things are also really important for timing. So there'd be a time associated for everything. So we go all the way back to 96 hours and when the first briefing is going to be, when the first planning, and you got a series of about 3 or 4 briefings to go to. Everything to when you pre-flight, when you show up, when you start your APU, all that kind of stuff is all timed to the second you take off, the second you hit the first SP, ACP, RP, and then the exact time you touch down the LZ. So everything in an air assault's planned and detailed out. So these SPs and RPs and all that would have times to them. And I've done that for one mission, but it's kind of hard to replicate with the kind of stuff we're working with. But that's another use of these detailed route planning. For us, all I really want to see just some basic stuff. Essentially, I really want to see the RP and the LZ marked. And then if you can do a little route, that'd be great. Putting down, I wouldn't oversaturate people, especially since everybody's flying single pilot. But if you guys look on the route, I put our HLZ or our start points kind of at the end of the runway. And then you take off 60 knots. We'd brief it basically a sequence of events, basically talking through the flight. So you guys would, at whatever time, would take off, stag right. You're going to climb to 200 knots, maintain, or 200 feet, maintain 60 knots till you reach the SP. Upon the SP, you would turn to a heading of this. In this case, you're just going to say, hey, we're going to make a 90-degree left turn to ACP 1. Accelerate to 90 knots. We're going to maintain 200 feet AGL. And we're going to hit ACP 1. That's just the point. It's just a good nav point in this case. Fly down the coast. Come over the city. This is a little tricky with the altitude. You're going to hit that RP, which is a Y in the river. I will announce RP. It'll probably be the only talking we'll do. That's going to indicate to everybody, hey, I'm slowing down, preparing for landing. And basically fly down that river, line me up, and I'm looking at the very last trees in that village. That's where the lead aircraft's going to touch down. Upon doing that, we'll drop our troops. There's an SP at the second intersection. It's a four-way intersection. We're going to take off 60 knots again, get the flight together. Because the way we're going to take off, people are going to be a little scattered, get the flight kind of formed. Left turn, all the way back towards the airport on the other side of the bay. I put an RP in. It'll be another left, that last SP, it's 90 knots, 200 feet. You hit that RP, slow back down to 60 knots, line yourself up with the runway, and set down. And how many aircraft we got? And then the first aircraft will land in the middle of the first single stripe on the runway. The more detail you can give to the exact point I'm landing or intend to land, the easier it is. Ideally, you guys are so smooth and so constant on your angles that Chalk 2 says, all right, I know exactly where it's going to touch down. The last 30 feet, 20 feet, he's kind of looking away from you and finding his own spot. And everybody does such good constant angles that everybody knows where everybody else is going to land. But that's hard to do. So if you say, hey, I'm going to touch down right in the middle of that stripe, that's what I'm aiming for. All right, well, if you do a real crappy approach, you under arc or do something stupid, at least I know you're trying to aim for that point. So I'm going to aim back and to the right, so on and so on. So you just kind of give that detail. Helps everybody make their spots. All right, and that's the basic route planning we kind of want to see. And that helps everybody out. So they don't get too lost. If you tell people a little bit ahead of time, altitudes, airspeed, stuff like that, it helps the formation out, so they're kind of they're planned on it. I like using that new tool. It helps kind of mark the route. I just did SPs, ACPs, and RPs. I put the flight name in front of it so we know that that is for us. That's it. So the next thing we're going to work on is just a basic lineup. So wherever Gizzy is, we'll line up on him. Everybody will turn on their anti-collision lights, and everybody else will turn off all their other lights. So we didn't fly. Generally in the military, we don't fly with the position lights on very often during the day. They're hard to see. The anti-collision light's a lot brighter. And at night, we use the position lights, and then IR and blackout mode, and formation lights and whatnot. DCS, the position lights, it tracks the AI up to 5 times the distance. It's just something about it. They don't care about landing lights, formation lights, blade tip lights, or anti-collision lights. The AI is just programmed to see your position lights. So we'll try and keep those off. And we're just going to go with a simple day-night SOP of when the light is your anti-collision light on, that means you're not ready. You're either loading troops or doing something. And when you're ready to go, your light goes off. What's going to happen is, so everybody will have the anti-collision light on, and you'll line up in a good stag right formation. And when Gizzy gets situated, he gets on the runway. He's going to look around. He's going to check his map. He's going to check his route. Just give himself, he's looking for the big things he wants to nav to. When we get into terrain flight, and we have 2 pilots in the cockpit and trying to do time on targets, we'll start looking at like the nitty-gritty details. We fly road, creek, bends. Here, we just want you guys to do some pilotage. Hey, flying to the end of the runway, hanging a left, hitting the point, flying down to the next village, looking for that Y, flying to the end of the next village. He's just going to memorize those big things so he doesn't have to get on the map too much. And then when he's ready, he will turn off his anti-collision light. Once Chalk 2 sees Chalk 1's anti-collision light off, and he says, and he is ready to go, talk to his crew, done his before takeoff checks, which we'll start going over that stuff when we get shared cockpit. He then will turn off his anti-collision light. And then that goes down the line. You only turn off the light when you're ready, and when the aircraft in front of you is turn off their light. Because in the end, the last guy is going to give an up call, and he can't necessarily see the whole flight's lights. So you got to do them in chalk order. So as you guys get ready and ready to go, just kill your anti-collision lights. Put the bomb in chalk 3.
It is.
Okay. And 4. And then finally, Chalk 5 has an important job. He knows that everybody's lights out. He turns his out. Because that's the way we're going to do it. And he would let the flight leader and the AMC know that he's ready. And he's just going to say Bandit Flight's beacon. That means he has turned off his beacon.
Bandit flight beacon, is it right?
Yep. Or Bandit's, whatever. Bandit Flight's good. Beacon, that's perfect. At that point, Gizzy would say torch. That is an indication that you are taking off in 5 seconds. He'd probably say Bandit Flight torch. And then he's counting down in his head. When he gets to 3, he's trying to get light on the skids. When he gets to, or 5 or 1, he's pulling the collective. He doesn't want to snatch the aircraft up, but he wants to get the aircraft off the ground. If he's in dust, he's going to pull pretty hard and get the aircraft out of the dust. But here, he's just going to try and get the aircraft moving. He wants to get off at a 5 count. And we don't want to be like a traffic light where the lead starts going, then 2, then 3. We want everybody to kind of lift up together and do a nice, smooth takeoff as a flight. That's the goal. Now you see Hueys, like when they're heavy, you know, kind of have to come up nose over, and sometimes they do it 1 or 2 at a time. You might have to do that when we get heavy and we get engine burnout, but we're light, so we'll do kind of a more modern takeoff where we're just kind of do a steep angle. Flight lead doesn't want to drop his nose more than 5 degrees, just a couple degrees. He's just going to crawl that thing forward. That means probably Chalk 5's down there at 5+ degrees trying to keep up. Ideally, everybody keeping less than 5 degrees, keeping the flight form, and he's going to pull less than 500 foot or less. He doesn't want to climb faster than that. Because, number 2, you're going to try and get out of his dirty air and stack up a few feet. 3 is stacking up a little higher. So everybody else is pulling gradually more power to get out of the dirty air of the flight in front of him and to stay on top of that dirty air. So he has to be careful he doesn't pull the guts out of it because you guys won't keep up. So just a nice smooth acceleration, climb out, and he's going to try to make all his turns, everything nice and gradual, so that he doesn't have to announce them to the flight. So you guys know he's going to the end of the runway, hanging a left and flying down that coast over there. And he's going to make his turns all real smooth, nothing more than 30 degrees. I put some 30 degrees in roll. I put some 90-degree turns up here. Ideally, 60 or more is briefed and discouraged, but he can round these corners out. So when you guys are ready, your lights are out, and we'll wait on Gizzy for a takeoff. Yes. Why not? Why not? So while you guys are all loading troops, so the type of landing we're going to do, we're going to hit the RP. Gizzy will say RP. That'll probably be the only thing he says. And he's going to start slowing down. He's going to put down. He's going to set it up either through voice attack or just having his F10 menu ready. As soon as his skids touch and he stops, he's hitting F1. He wants the troops out. And then as soon as they're clear, man, he's going to start pulling power and coming out. Chalk 2, you're doing the same thing. So ideally, the whole flight touches down the same second, and then you guys are all unloading about the same time. And then if you all sync your unload and all that, you can take back off. You don't do light signals, anything like that. but this is going to be what's called Toriko, which is takeoff, wind ready, and chalk order. So 1 drops his troops, he starts rolling out 2. So in this case, you might get a little spread out. So that's why we're going to do a slow 60 knot, 200 foot climb out and get the flight back together. You might be a little lower. There might be a case where one aircraft crashes in these LZ, gets all shot up. Don't wait behind that aircraft forever. There's times in Vietnam where the lead aircraft the crew got killed and guys were sitting on the ground waiting before they realized and picked up. So give him a few seconds. If he gets his troops out, then take off and skip him if you have to. Alright. So that's called takeoff and ready. We will work on doing flights landing, loading troops. So if you guys come into the airport, you come from another airport, come to this one, you all land. As soon as you touch down to where you want to pick up troops, you're going to turn on the anti-collision light, start loading your troops, and then when you're ready to go, turn off your lights and redo the whole lighting sequence. But in a hot LZ, probably not going to do the lighting sequence. You're just going to drop your troops, and if you need to wait for everybody, once the last guy gets his troops out, he'll call beacon again, everybody will lift. Or you might have to do a sequential, hey, 1's up, 2's up, 3's up. We can come up with some different scenarios based on the mission. But for this case, we're just going to do a Toriko. Flight lands together, unloads, and then we're to take off wind ready and chalk order. And if you do it precise enough, you'll all take off at the same time. So whenever you're ready, Gizzy.
Okay, Bandit flight, torch.
There you go, you're all lifting together. A little more power. Get a little more vertical. Looking good. As long as you're smooth enough. You can fly across the ground if you want, as long as you're all smooth enough. And that was a really good takeoff. Your skids came up about the same time, and you're all sticking with each other. A lot of times you see like one's 500 feet before 6 gets off the ground. And now, I can give you some, since I'm not flying, some formation guidance. So a trick you can do is you can put the aircraft's swash plate, which is that first set of spinning disc on the rotor system, on the horizon. If you do that, that'll put you a couple feet above them. And that's when you're flat and level. And that'll stack you up a few feet. For a good 45-degree angle, which can be a kind of pain in the ass in the Huey, I line up the rear closest skid to the other aircraft's front far skid. So if I'm in the right position, I line up his back right skid with his front left skid, and that gives me a good 45-degree angle. What that allows is for the flight to be shorter. So we're kind of, well, we're not next to each other, but we're not trailing behind each other. And it allows our gunners to cover each other a little better. So I can shoot under you, in front of you, whatever I need to do. And then we try to fly, I like to stay 3 disc, which is in a Huey about 150 feet. So in cruise, 3 to 5 discs. When you get closer to the LZ, that's where you get kind of down 2 disc, 1 disc, half disc. Get that flight to land real close together. But like how you guys are spread up now is pretty good. Some of you guys are pushing kind of the 5 disc, maybe a little more. That way, in an aircraft fire, something hits you guys, a missile, you don't take out all the flight. But you still don't want to get too far spread apart where you can't cover each other. The one thing we didn't talk about, something called a wall call. Some people call it a lap check. This is when you take care of your weapons, your ASE, and your lights. So as soon as you take off, you start heading outbound, and you clear the wall, the fence, or whatever you determines what you need to do to, I don't know how to explain that. It can be an altitude, anything. That's when you tell your crew chiefs they're allowed to go either weapons safe or weapons in DCS, return fire, free fire. In the real world, we have ROE restrictions that we tell them. I'll just say weapons. My crew chiefs come back and gunners say, hey, we're loaded, we're armed, we're clear. So that's what the W stands for. The A is ASE. That's when you turn on your flare system. Here in DCS, you guys can turn that on the ground, leave it on. You're not going to get misfires. And then the last one's lights. So if we were using position lights, if the airfield, like here, you guys would probably, the trailman would probably keep his anti-collision light on until we cross the lights. But DCS, we can turn it off. We're not worried about traffic. So that's what that calls for. And then when you're coming back into the wire or into the camp to pick somebody up, somebody in the crew who remembers hopefully does the wall call. And big thing, you know, you're safe in your crew chiefs. They used to put the weapons forward. We had some weird weapon mounts where they had to hold them and they'd wait till we touched the runway. But you could turn down your ROE so your gunner doesn't accidentally shoot something. We had problems with just flares going off and trying to burn down the embassy, stuff like that. So you guys don't really have to worry about that all kind of stuff. But it's really it's kind of a mind check in DCS. Hey, I'm crossing the wire. My gunner's ready. My flare's on. I'm now leaving friendly territory. So we call that a wall call. And some units call it across the flight. The gunship guys, they like to talk about everything, so they're constantly sending code words across the radio that nobody else understands or cares. And they'll do, hey, lap check complete, whatever. Here, you guys want to do it?
Really, what happened there?
You almost fell out of the sky.
Yeah, it just went weird.
But we call that a wall call. It's really just here it's just a mental check. Hey, I'm flying across the wire. Am I ready? So Gizzy's just flying along. Train flight altitude's 200 feet below. On an air assault, honestly, you're going to be a little higher, that 200-foot range. You're keeping the flight formed. You might be at 500 feet. I mean, it really depends what kind of territory you're going into. But the whole NOE where you're bobbing and weaving the trees, that's hard to do with a large flight. So here comes that first city we talked about. So he's making his turn. And it's a 90-degree turn, and you can see the struggles of that. That starts to kick the flight all around. Shock 3, you're starting to outrun. Shock 2 a little. Next time I'll plan a little better route.
Bandit flight RP, Romeo Bell.
Alright, so he hit the RP. You guys don't really need to respond to that, but you now know he's going to be slowing down, so you want to start tightening up that flight. Gunners are going to start looking around. You guys are looking for the LZ. Everybody's trying to figure out where the hell the LZ is. You're waiting for your gunships, your scouts to give you a cherry ice call, which is the LZ's cold or hot. Assume at this point it's cold. And it's going to be a really painful and slow. It's going to be like a hover. So you guys got to watch out for that 20 knot region where you fall through ETL and the aircraft starts to sink in. Because he's going to be almost hovering in. And it seems counterintuitive, but we can't come screaming in the LZ. We'll either run into each other, or we won't have enough power and we'll crash into the ground. Like when the aircraft really get heavy and you guys really get engine limits, we're going to have to come in real slow. Because in a large flight, you know, civilian world, they'll come in, get into ground effect, and slow down. Here, to do that with a lot of aircraft, you're just asking to kind of have a slinky effect and run into each other. So he's just going to crawl us in, but he's going to watch out. He's going to hold his altitude. He wants to get a steep angle because of all these obstacles. He doesn't want to drag the flight across the ground, so he's going to hold till he's over the LZ and kind of come down. Not quite vertical, but close.
Sorry, 3 on trying, buddy.
worries. You guys are looking good. Just keep, because he's gonna keep slowing you down. Now he's gonna find his angle and probably just set it down anywhere. Within luck, you guys will set down all about the same time. One's almost down, 2, 3, 4. Cool. When you guys are all down, you're gonna start unloading. One's down, so he's gonna get the hell out of the LZ. Everybody else, you guys gotta wait chalk order. There you go. Now 2's gonna get going. 3, 4, you're all up. Just nice, easy takeoff. Hopefully we're not getting shot at too much, because you might just have to move out. You never know.
We cleared them out. We cleared
You
them
don't
out.
you don't want to be a free for all and scream out of the LZ, but you also don't want to get killed. He's going up that second intersection. He's holding that 60 knots till he gets that second intersection. He's probably gonna do a nice smooth turn and accelerate up to cruise. The lights, even in the real world, are a lot of discipline. As soon as I hit the fart pad, as soon as I hit the ground, and if I landed directly to where I need to pick up or drop off, I might taxi down. I might come down to a landing and then taxi to where I need to go. There's a PAX terminal, fuel point, whatever. Once I get to that point, I had to flip that light. That let my wingman know, hey, I'm not ready. Now, we did a lot of two-ship operations, so we talked. But still, when I saw Chalk 1's lights go out, I'd knock my lights out, I'd say beacon. He accidentally left his light on, then it was a pain in the ass. Alright, as you guys are heading in, some changes we're going to make. We're going to start doing restricted missions. Encourage guys to do missions. Some of their more advanced missions, we're going to restrict to guys with basic wings and basic mission qual. Still going to do open server training. We're still going to do training whenever people are available. And we'll still do open missions to kind of get guys a feel. But we're going to allow for restricted missions. That way, kind of helps the skill level stay up on some of the missions, and then also encourage guys to get their basic wings or their basic mission qual. Like I said, the basic wings, it's not as much of a test as it is like a training session where you kind of see where you're at. You just want to know you have basic aircraft control, kind of get you into our procedures that we're going to rewrite and reteach here. And so it's nothing to stress out about. Worst case, might say, hey, you need more hovering time, and we'll train with you on hovering. Like it's not really so much a test. Like, that's more the senior wings. And then the basic mission qual, getting you set up on formation, radios, basic procedures. We'll probably throw lighting and some SOP stuff in there. Just the stuff to get you set up so you know, hey, when they say, Bandit flight form up behind me, you know what to do, when to flip your lights, all that kind of stuff. Probably announce a mission this weekend. It'll be an open mission. This is a real simple ring route, so Weaver Soldiers mission used to be real popular. Got some gunship action, some slick actions. We just do some multiple runs into an LZ, laying down troops. Just kind of get you the formation stuff over and over again.
Bandit flight going for the skid marks, 300 meters off the runway.
2.
If you guys need to schedule wings, Gizzy, myself, Extra, check. We can do training whenever we're around. Try and do training for y'all, and if you guys just want to try them out, then we can always do that. So just come find us. So I'm predicting within a year we'll have shared cockpit for the Huey, if not less. In which case, you know, some things will get easier, some things will get really hard. You guys are moving on that one, but you all touch down at the same time. And then if the troops were next to you, they'd be running up to your aircraft. Your anti-collision lights would be on, and once you guys got loaded up, the crew chief says, "Hey, everybody's in." Turn off your light when the guy in front of you turns off his light. That's the basic stuff. And then you guys can come in here, pick up troops, take off, go hit the target, and you can come in here and pick up troops and only have to say 2 words, which is beacon, which means the flight's ready, and torch, the flight's taken off. Plus whatever radio calls if you were doing traffic control and all that stuff. So that's the advantage of that. That way when your co-pilot's gabbing at you and helping you guys out. And when you get shared cockpit, I'm hoping they do a little better job in Polyjob, that they get so everybody can flip switches, because that's kind of the co-pilot's job. He manages the aircraft, he's flipping your radios for you, he's guiding you on the map, he's going up, hitting the lights, turning on the flares, arming your weapons. So I hope to see that kind of stuff. Managing the cockpit is more difficult and more complex than flying the aircraft. So that's why pilot and commands, we train them heavily on managing that cockpit. Am I missing anything, Gizzy?
No, sir. That sounds very good.
So we're going to start finalizing things. We're going to try things out. If they don't work, we'll change them, because we need them. One, we want things to be easy, fun, and somewhat realistic, but we don't want to overcomplicate things. We got guys that speak a lot of different languages, all that kind of stuff. So we might put out some stuff if you guys doesn't work. We'll do some keyboard stuff so you guys can have that in the cockpit. And then we're going to rewrite the SOP, kind of make it a training / operational document, and just try and square the stuff away. And then we'll try and stick with it. We kind of get lazy on some of this stuff. So that's what we're working on. Any questions on anything? The reasons why we do things, anything like that?
No, sir.
No.
Sweet. I was able to do that in half the time since I didn't have to fly.
There you go. You're golden off.
Hey, flyer is in.
It's a TeamSpeak.
No, he's just in the server.
What? What's that about?
I don't know.
Well, gents, I'm going to call it a night. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here, so
All right, buddy.
I shall catch you later.
Alright,
All
guys,
right,
thanks, man.
All right,
I'll
thanks,
start
good.
sending you ideas when I get some time.
Okay, mate.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Thanks for your comments, gents. Good night.
Night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Disconnected from your channel.
Wes Montauk. Is that flyer? Mantooth? West Mantooth.
Who the hell's that?
I don't know. He's from America.
Where is he? Is he up in the lobby?
Yeah, it's your mic. Like, your mic at.
How about that?
That's okay.
Yeah, it was way up above my head. I forgot I moved it up. I was eating dinner.
That'd have been flyer trying to get on. Alright, well, I gotta work on this project I'm working on. I'll be back in, I'll be here, actually.
Alright, Dan.
Oh.
Somebody failed to negotiate the crane?
No.
I knew that one was going to be a little tight. That was awesome. Who was that?
Camachero.
Uh,
Be right back.
oh, I didn't break my skids off. Nice.
Well, I'm gonna call it a night. We'll see you guys later.
All right, man. Oh. Too low. Alright, I gotta take a breather for a little bit. I'll be back.